Well, we got a Why Don't They Just? Want to just jump into that?
Let's see it.
Did you have
Why
another
don't they
story I didn't
just?
know about?
No, that was it.
Okay. So, I actually saw this on the Twitter, the Twitster,
Twits.
and it's from a name there's no way I'll get this right. Jacob Polasek. There's weird markings over the letters, which means I can't pronounce it.
Hakub.
That's what that means. But anyway, yeah, he said, why don't they just create orbital tax for companies to pay per satellite or used orbit per year? And he links to this. He's basically saying, why don't they tax people to have satellites up in space? And he linked to this article here from phys.org. It's all about space junk, really. The idea that, I mean, there's actually, I received a book from somebody the other day, and I think his name was Christopher, and I'm sorry if you listen to this and I got your name wrong, but he wrote a book about the Kessler syndrome, which is the idea that, two satellites could collide in space and create thousands of pieces of debris flying 25 times as fast as a bullet, and then they wind up smashing up all the other satellites to the point that we can't leave Earth anymore. That's the Kessler syndrome. So space junk is a problem. And there's lots of different people talking about ways to alleviate that problem. But this one is basically saying, why don't we charge satellite providers a tax for having their satellites up there, basically incentivizing them to bring them back down and not just leave them up. So I guess there's an argument to be made there. It's saying orbital use fees would increase the long-run value of the space industry, according to Matthew Burgess, a Cirrus Fellow and co-author of this paper, and says that by reducing future satellite and debris collision, an annual fee rising to about $235,000 per satellite would quadruple the value of the satellite industry by 2040. I don't know how that works.
Well, I love the idea of using financial or economic tools, let's say, for this, because those work. Clearly, money makes people act or inspires people to act. How would that work for, say, Russia, though? I doubt they're going to pay us a tax. And if they're just paying the tax to themselves, or China, for example,
Yeah, like who would actually instill this tax?
So all that tax money just goes to the president as a bonus? Like what? Because in let's say a communist state, how that stuff works is quite a bit different than a capitalist state. So
here it says, for an orbital use fee an orbital use fee approach to work,
there you go.
The researchers found all countries launching satellites would need to participate, and that's about a dozen that launch satellites on their own launch vehicles and more than 30 that own the satellites. So we're really good at getting a whole bunch of different countries to come together. And
that's what I'm saying. That's a joke. That's like saying all we have to do to solve climate change is get every single country in the world to agree. Yeah, no, never going to happen.
Well, it says here countries use similar approaches already in carbon taxes and fisheries management.
Carbon
we don't talk enough
taxes
about fisheries management on this channel,
I would love to learn more. Carbon taxes are fascinating, though. Canada has one, which is crazy. And it's fascinating how it works. But
so my uninformed opinion here is I feel like, even though the number of satellites that are going up is increasing quite a bit still, I think that they are already, it's understood that this is a problem. Because it's against their own interest that they're going to have satellites up there to create a bunch of space junk that could destroy their satellites, So it's in their best interest to bring them down when they're done. And I think there's already standards in place to do that. But, and plus there's like 20,000 pieces of space junk up there already that, don't have, they can't come down on their own because they don't have any propulsion or anything. So we're going to have to go and get them and do something with them. So
I have an answer for that.
Okay.
It was a tweet that I posted, and so I'm trying to find it. How would I don't know how to use Twitter.
Live tweeting.
Okay. Problem solved. The USS Portland, a warship home ported at Naval Base San Diego, America's finest naval base for all you other naval bases out there. has successfully tested a new high-energy laser that can destroy aircraft mid-flight.
I saw this on G.I. Joe.
That's what we need in the world. And there's a photo here. I can't share it, but if you just search USS Portland laser, I'm sure you'll find it.
If you put the link in the chat, I could probably open it.
Okay, yeah, here, let me drop that there because you guys, it's the most sci-fi nonsense you've ever seen. I mean, it's literally...
Oh my God, that picture.
Yeah, it's a great picture, isn't it? So I'll describe it. So the whole image is red. I believe they shot this at night, and you just see like a little warship with what looks like a sci-fi laser shooting off of it. I imagine they're hitting the tomato out there that all the guys go practice shoot at, but
I feel like the Knight Rider music should be playing underneath when you watch that.
Isn't that nuts? So there you go. So you deploy one of these into space, or how about we build one on the moon? High energy laser on the moon, space debris begone. No
Just
more.
Don't miss.
Or do, and then call it a whoopsie, oopsie.
Do you see the sharks with lasers over here?
Yeah, it's the sharks with lasers. It's essentially what it is, yeah. It looks like Cyclops from X-Men, like just blasting something off. So there you go.
Oh,
Why don't they just do that?
I don't know. Actually, I mean that there's some theories or some plans to do something like that. Maybe not like that kind of laser, but a laser in space that can just kind of zap just enough
just to push it.
Yeah, down in the atmosphere. I don't think it's undoable.
Right. Yeah, could you do it from here to... No, I guess it only pushes. There's not like a tracking beam.
Tracking beam?
Like a focused laser magnet. You know what I mean? Like I just want to pull that thing towards me, not just like in general magnetic field.
Yeah.
Which I don't know enough about how that works to make it happen. So it's not going to happen.
So Tim isn't here to respond to that. He probably would have had something else to say about it. But I mean, I just kind of feel like the industry is already aware of the problem and they're taking steps to correct for it. I think there's already, kind of standards on when you launch that you've got to have an exit strategy of sorts of how to bring down the satellite once it's done. I don't know that a tax is necessary, but anyway, my concern is that it would stifle an industry that's growing right now. Like we've kind of got like a space infrastructure finally starting to happen, and I wouldn't want that to be stymied because there's like all this extra cost involved.
Right.
But,
you tax things you don't want. I fully believe in that system called Pigouvian. I forget how to say it, but it's this economist came up with this concept of like, the general idea is if you want to disincentivize a behavior, you tax it. Think about cigarettes here in the U.S., taxed to death. Things like that, because you don't want people to smoke and whatever. So
you don't want them to smoke to death.
Yeah, there you go. Well, but this is funny because this is why there's, and I'm with this argument of we should eliminate payroll and corporate income tax entirely, because those are things you want. You want people to make money. You want companies to make money. The things you don't want are the Johnson & Johnsons or BPs or whomever to spill, gazillions gallons of oil in the Gulf. You don't want that. So we need to use taxes as a way to disincentivize the behavior that has a larger impact on the rest of the world, such as polluting the environment. And then things like we do want people to do, like, start new businesses, pay people more, spend more money, things like that. You remove as much as you can taxes on that. So the idea there, and I think Ronald Reagan's economic chief came up with this idea of like, you create a carbon tax that taxes the hell out of these businesses that just kill our planet. And then you remove the taxes from the other side. So, there's more money for people here, and then it incentivizes these companies to shift, and then whatever. But lots of complex things and ways to think about that. But yeah, that concept, huh?
You believe in taxes, Trotsky?
Yeah, that's right.
It's all theft.
Tax the wealthy. Let's just tax Jeff Bezos, and then we'll have money for everything. Come on.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this clip from our show. If that's just not enough for you and you want to watch the full episode, you can go to olfpod.com/YT.
And if you want more from us, you can consider becoming a Patreon member. You'll get early access to episodes. You can join our awesome community. You can actually watch us record live and get your name in the credits by going to olfpod.com/Patreon.
So thanks everyone for watching. Check back every Friday for new clips here and new episodes on the main channel.
Thanks, everybody.